So the question, can Jimmer Fredette get the attention of the New York Knicks with the kind of performance he had the other night? And to break that down, joined by Armen and Levack of ESPN Radio 104.5 The Team. Armen Williams, Jeff Levack, catch them on 104.5 Monday through Friday, 3 to 7. And guys, you talked to Jimmer earlier today, and I imagine he was feeling pretty good after that 37-point performance.
Yeah, I think his arm was still a little sore. I think Floyd Mayweather telling him to shoot, and he just kept shooting. That's a great thing to learn. If Money Mayweather could be a basketball coach, Jimmer could be in the NBA right now.
He was very humbled. He said that he's at the D-League level to better his own skills, and whatever happens, happens. He thought about going overseas, but he wanted to stay here and see if he could continue to play at the NBA level. He says that he's just hoping that a team will pick him up and get him in the right role, and obviously he has not been able to find it yet at the NBA level.
Jimmer never needs Money's permission to have the green light to shoot. That's
right.
That's all the time. But then what do you guys think? Will the New York Knicks give Jimmer a realistic look, or is he just there to put more fans in the seat in White Plains?
Well, it's interesting because we asked him about the Westchester Knicks. They run the Knicks system.
The triangle,
so he said that it gives the Knicks a good idea of here's what Derek Fisher is trying to do. So, Levack, you got to think that it does help his chances of getting to play for the Knicks because they see exactly how it would translate at the big level.
Well, it amazes me because I look at him and I see, Paxson and Kerr from the Bulls days where, you focus on everybody else and all of a sudden I kick out and they're dropping a three that's breaking your heart. Phil Jackson was the man there. Why can't Phil Jackson be the man who brings in another guy who's a great spot-up shooter, maybe doesn't create his own space as well as you would want him to, but, I'm going to drive Melo. Everybody pays attention to Melo, kick out, and there's three, but your heart's broken, and it's Jimmer.
I think he's got to prove that he can knock down that three. He got a lot of his points, go into the rim, and that wouldn't be his style if he was playing.
Correct. That does not translate.
Right.
Correct.
Well, I think there's a little bit of freezing rain outside, so let's talk baseball. The Red Sox made a splash today with David Price. 7 years, $217 million. He's a great pitcher. Is that a good investment?
It's a terrible investment. Just look at the Yankees still sitting on Teixeira's contract, A-Rod's contract, Sabathia's contract, to a lesser degree, Beltran's contract. When do you learn that 7 years on a guy who's 30 is too long? They are a better team today than they were yesterday and will be for 2 to 3 years. But you just paid David Price, who can't win in the postseason, record money for a pitcher.
The Yankees won a championship under most of those guys under those big contracts. Is it worth it to the Red Sox if they win, let's say, one championship in the first year with David Price? Is it worth 6 more years of David Price getting old and taking all your money? It's a question that they had to have asked in the room in the Red Sox front office today.
You'd think that maybe they would say yes to that answer if they thought they were close. They were nowhere close last year.
Well, it's David Ortiz's last year. Yeah. So we think maybe they're trying to build something for that, and I think that they're a talented team. They're on the rise. Are they one pitcher away from competing?
ESPN's Buster Olney told us when we talked to him last month he feels like they'll be the team that turns it around more than any other in all of baseball, and that was before they brought in David Price.
He just likes to torment. It's just torture for me. That's all.
Pinstripe pants, man. Of course he's going to find some negative thing about the David Price contract.
$217 million negative things.
Pinstripe pants. Don't worry about that.
All right, guys, let's bring it around to football. Giants and Jets, a big, is it a rivalry game coming up this weekend? They share the same building.
In order to be a rivalry game, you have to play somebody for a game that means something on a consistent basis. You can't look at preseason in the Snoopy Bowl and say, oh, it's a rivalry when your third-string quarterback's playing the second half of the game and you're trying to figure out if he can be a backup later on in the season. It's not a rivalry game, Levack. There's not a chance.
I think it means more than a W. And in that case, you're fighting for your house. You see these guys in the halls and all that other stuff. You want to prove that it's your house. I would say it's more of a rivalry for the Jets than the Giants, but still it's a rivalry to me.
All right, well, let's finish with this question. Both of them obviously need a win, but regardless of what happens this weekend, who has the better chance of getting into the postseason?
NFC least. I'm gonna go the Giants. Flip a coin. Who gets? I'm gonna go with the Giants just because they're in the NFC East.
Because of the division.
Yeah.
The fact that the Giants still have a chance to win their division tells you how bad their division is.
Yeah.
Sorry, Giants peeps. That's where we're at with it. I've got to go Giants as well.
All right. Armen Williams, Jeff Levack. They are Armen and Levack, ESPN Radio 104.5 The Team. Guys, thanks so much for being here. Really appreciate it. And coming up after the break, there are plenty of rules changes you may have noticed in men's college basketball this year. To break it down, one of the most successful referees of all time. That's next on The Edge.